Yolanda from Trinity Holistic Hypnosis. And, you know, we've been doing Soul Session on Instagram for a while, and we thought we'd change the venue a little bit, switch it up, and get on the YouTube here and kind of just share. And then we had this epiphany that we really haven't done a proper introduction here. So we're going to do that today. So hopefully like that is the vibe that we're going for, is just kind of a little meet and greet, get to know you kind of thing. And we're excited to kind of introduce ourselves to you all again. So how are you today, Yolanda?
I'm doing great. I'm blessed and highly favored. How about you?
I am doing great. Like, I don't think our little higher selves could have coordinated this any better with us both in brown.
Yeah. Oh, we're frozen.
Occurring. Oh, I'm not on my end.
You're back. You're back.
Oh, okay. And okay.
Okay, so it was a frozen situation again. Did you ask a question? Can you ask it again?
Yeah, I just said, how do you feel about kind of just popcorning questions this morning?
I love it. I'm into it.
Oh, let's do it. So I'm not freezing on my end, so it looks, I don't know, it could just be intermittent going in and out. So we'll just kind of,
We'll
I don't
wing
know,
it.
reset every time it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you could tell everybody just kind of like where you first became aware that there was more than like kind of just what we see on the day to day.
Yeah, I had always dabbled in spirituality, and my first real recollection of I look back on it now and it was a recollection, was when I was 14 and I got a calligraphy set, and I was looking for a quote to actually write in calligraphy. And I wrote that quote that we are not humans on a spiritual journey, we are spirits on a human journey. And so when I look back at that, I can see all of these little breadcrumbs of consciousness coming forward. And then I went through a period in my 20s where I was super into yoga and kind of tarot cards and doing all of that. So I was really at that place where I had always hit this spiritual um, glass ceiling. And that was really the love and light glass ceiling, that everything was just so wonderful. And it was all about spiritually opening and doing all of those things. And so I've always kind of known that there was something else, because I truly believe I used to read Rumi and all that and Hafiz, and I believe that I was the same thing that was in me was in the moon and the stars. So I've always had an inkling of consciousness, but it wasn't until this last, shall we say, deeper dive into it that I knew how much more there really was. No, really, I have to say mine was a slow, steady drip. And when I added energy into the mix, things really broke open for me. So yeah, I guess it was energy. The very first energetic thing that I ever did was breath work. And
Okay.
then I got into sound bowls and sound healing. And then when I found
Mhm.
Kundalini activation process, that was when I knew that I could experience these amazing bliss states that
Mhm.
so far were beyond anything I had ever felt before. Any party, any good time, any relationship that I had ever experienced. It really broke me open in a lot of ways.
Amazing. And when you say like you just notice the energy, like what does that mean to you?
Well, it felt like electricity. It felt
Okay.
like it felt effervescent in my body. I could feel the energy that was being offered to me. In breath work, it was a little different. In breath work, you do feel the energy, but you don't recognize it as energy. It just feels like tingling.
Okay.
In sound healing, a similar thing. You just know that you feel really, really great and really elevated. But it was really in
Mhm.
Kundalini activation where I felt my own energy expand and continue to expand within me, and I was hooked. I was like, I want to feel like this all the time. This is me.
Into my next question for you. So, if you could describe your soul without any labels, how would you describe?
mm, gosh, I'm glad you didn't ask me for one word. I would say juicy and multi-layered. Whenever something impacts me, I can feel the expansion and it feels juicy, it feels ripe, it feels available. When you bite into that perfect summer peach or nectarine, whatever juicy fruit that you really enjoy, that's what it feels like. That's what my soul feels like. It feels ready, it feels ripe. Yep. Gosh, that's really hard to say because I'm one of those people that have a lot of visions and have a lot of really beautiful, deep, um, resplendent experiences with spirit.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think some of our trips to Joshua Tree are really quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
Um, I'll give you this one. This one was actually
Okay.
a game changer. Uh, One morning, I set my alarm clock for 6 and I woke up at 4:30 and I heard time for a bath. So I get into the bathtub and I do a little bit of meditation. I find that the warm,
Mhm.
salty water is really a conduit for me. And so then I hear, you've never fully incarnated in your body. And in that moment, I felt this kind of flash hit my heart. And when I felt that
Mhm.
flash, um,
Yeah.
it was also one of those very expansive things, and I just started receiving these just download after download after download. It was kind of like, did you ever see The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich? It was like that moment where Lilu was, like, looking at all of the things to
Mhm.
learn, and she was seeing these flashes of things come go through her mind, and that's what it felt like for me. It felt like I was receiving a
That's
download of
amazing.
all of this information that I needed.
Yeah, but let's highlight the part where you say, I woke up and I heard, take a bath, and you just did it. Like, no questions
Yeah,
asked. You just were like, all right, we're doing it. Let me just hop in that tub. And,
yeah,
I think that's really demonstration of being in your knowing and being in your own intuitiveness, right? And just embracing it and going with it and knowing that it's going to lead you to where you need to be next. And that's really, I think, exemplifies not just being in your intuition and your knowing, but also that surrender state, which is really difficult for, or it can be challenging for some of us to get to because we want to question, like, where does that voice come from? Why are they telling me? And you're just like, okay, that time, let's do it.
yeah,
Love it.
yeah. Well, this was after years in the game, right? You learn how to do that. And, you also breadcrumb it. You
Yeah.
receive a little bit of information, and then when you follow it, you go, "Oh, okay, when I follow that information, I got more." And
Mhm.
the beauty of the process is that the more you lean into it and the more you act on your receiving, the more you
Yeah.
receive.
A
Yeah.
1000%. I couldn't agree with that more. Has there been any like particular initiations or dark nights, the dark nights that have like really shaped kind of your spiritual journey?
I mean, there have been lots, but the most recent one was a month ago where
Mhm.
I woke up and I just didn't feel like myself. And
Mhm.
in those moments when I don't feel like myself, I just go really quiet. And in that
Mm.
quiet, there was more quiet. And in that quiet, there were no answers. And so instead
Right.
of reaching out to try to solve the emptiness that I felt, I just rolled
Mhm.
with it. I can actually feel it in my body right now. I so didn't feel like myself that it was so foreign to me. And I remember saying to myself, this doesn't feel like me. And it took about 2.5 days. It was a mini dark night. But in those moments, I felt as though my motherboard was being cleared, like something was being cleared so that more of me, a more authentic me, could come through.
Or scary or like this complete like upheaval of things for people. Like a dark night can be this really beautiful quiet process, quiet but loud process
Sure.
at the same time.
Yeah.
And I love that
Yeah, we do.
we hear that.
Yeah, we often hear the really, really heavy, terrible parts. My life was blown up or something like that. And, it happens all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of ways. And I think they read something or hear it from a friend and they get it into their mind that it has to be that way. And it doesn't. It happens all kinds of ways. It happens in a myriad of different ways.
Little like truth bombs in there where like when we take information from other people, we're like subconsciously using it to shape our own reality. And
Yeah,
what we should do is take in the information and just kind of pause for a second and ask ourselves before we decide.
for sure. For sure. And actually, I want to add one more thing to that is that um, the key to this whole process is that it's your individual journey. So, a teacher, a guide, a friend can only walk with you, they can't walk for you. And so, that's the reason why each experience is so subjective and so individual and so yours.
Yeah.
Our souls, our oversouls have been with us through all of our lifetimes, through all of our incarnations.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
they are quintessentially us, which is why a large part of
Mm-hmm.
my work is helping sensitives and people and empathic people and intuitively wired people really connect with their own essence because your essence is
Mm-hmm.
timeless, right? It's been with you
Yeah.
forever and ever. So it really guides the process. And so
Mm-hmm.
people can
Yeah.
tell you how something else has happened for them, but it may
Mm-hmm.
not happen that way for you. It's only a post-it note. It's not a book, right? When other people tell you things. It's a little aha, it could be like this, but You can
Yeah.
read all of the great scholars, all of the great spiritualists, and it will be different. It's only a guide because your unique journey is very much your own.
Yeah, you bring up a good like memory for me about that, where when I was first opening up, and the way in which I started was like I would cross souls initially, and I went to this woman who is she's a my Spanish is not the best, so she's a curandera, right? So
Hmm.
she does a lot of those practices, and she was doing a clearing, and I was explaining to her how I was crossing souls, and she's like, you're not supposed to do it that way. And I was like, what do you mean you're not supposed to do it that way? Like, that's how I was guided to do it. She's like, these souls shouldn't be attaching to like your physical body. And I was like, but they do until I do the work with them and they move on. And she was like, that's not supposed to happen. I was like, but it's happening. And that's my experience. And so I I think I like that you said that because I unwaveringly didn't back down from my own guidance. I just was like, okay, well, thanks for the information. I appreciate that. But I'm going to cross souls the way in which, like, my guidance is telling me, and I'll figure it out and just kind of learn from all the breadcrumbs that I'm being left. So
Yeah.
it's true, like, all of our journeys are just shaped so differently. And you will meet people that will tell you you're doing it wrong, and there really is no wrong. It's just following and listening to yourself at the end of the day,
Yeah.
which segues into soul gifts. So I'm wondering kind of what soul gifts have you kind of retrieved along your journey and that you have really embraced and incorporated into your soul's essence?
Gosh, I could answer that a couple of different ways. And the first thing that comes to mind is clairs, but we all have
Yeah.
clairs. It's clairs are not something that are only given to a few people. And the way I thought that that used to happen, right? Clairs are
Mhm.
something just like your sense of taste, your sense of touch, your sense of sight.
Yeah.
Everybody gets one. You get a clair, you get a clair, you get a clair. Um, so I'll cross over. I won't mention clairs, and I will say that my soul's gifts are really, hmm, I don't see you now, so I'm wondering if you're still there, but I guess I'll just keep going on soul gifts. So, one of my soul's gifts is feeling other people. And when I sit across from someone in a session, I can literally feel similar to you when you were crossing people over, you can feel people. I literally feel what other people are experiencing in their bodies. So that's one of my gifts. Another one of my gifts is deep, deep listening, listening beneath what is actually there. Oh, there you are. So listening beneath what is
I heard everything you
perfect,
said.
perfect.
So
So listening beneath what is actually happening. And I'll liken
mhm.
it to this. One day I was sitting in the park and I was lying down on the grass. And as I looked up through this tree, I saw bugs flying around the tree. And then I saw the tree. And then I saw birds flying through the tree. And then I looked beyond
Yeah.
that and I saw the sky. And then up in the sky, there was another group of birds. And then beyond that,
Yeah.
I saw the clouds. And then beyond that, high, high, high in the sky, I saw a hawk. You know how they fly really high. And then higher than
Yeah.
that, I saw a plane. And so in that moment, it allowed me to realize how we receive psychic senses. It's very layered. And so that's a similar way that I feel into people. It's what the person looks like, what their aura is like, what they are feeling in the moment,
Right.
the way I can hear something in their voice, their mannerisms, right? So it's all very layered. And that's one of my
Mhm.
soul gifts is like seeing so deeply into a person.
I love that gift. Would you say like how does that like show up in your everyday life? You know, not that we turn ourselves off, but like we do live in this kind of 3D world. So how do you navigate that spiritual gift kind of through your everyday 3D
Yeah,
essence?
yeah. There no lie, it can be overwhelming, right? And so I have to learn continually how to not block it, but titrate it,
Mhm.
right? I have to turn
Okay.
some things down, I turn some things up. It depends on what's happening. Now, if I'm just living my normal life, shopping in a grocery store, I don't necessarily feel and sense all of the things that I normally do when I'm in a
Yeah.
session because I'm hyper focused. But some things get through, some things don't. But what I do notice that I do is that I don't take it on. And this is what the empath is here to learn, how not to take on all of the energy, how not to absorb
Yeah.
all of the energy. So if I'm at a concert, which I don't go to a lot because I really can't deal with all the energy,
Yes.
but if
Yes.
I'm at a concert, I am in my bubble and I'm
Yeah.
only focused on certain things.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. So, is there a spiritual kind of lineage or frequency that you feel most connected to?
Hmm. Well, I was raised super, super Christian, extra
Mhm.
Christian, if that's a thing, like extra crispy, extra Christian.
Like, I was just gonna say that, like extra crispy.
Yeah. And so when I was raised in the church like that, I did everything that I could to rebel, right? And it wasn't until I got a
Mhm.
car and I didn't have to go to church with my mother, I'd say, "Oh yeah, I'll come later," and then just not go.
Yeah.
So I have that foundation of Christianity, but I know that spirituality is not religious for me. It's very broad. It is in everything.
Yeah.
Everything is animated with consciousness. So I
Mhm.
really I'm very attuned to Reiki and I'm very
Mhm.
attuned to a Taoist lineage and I'm very attuned to consciousness in all things. And sometimes when I'm asked, what I'll say is, my religion is do unto others as you would have them do unto you, because
Yeah.
I believe that the ant and the rock is as important as the person.
Yeah.
The soil has consciousness, air has consciousness. I believe in the consciousness of
Yeah.
all things. So if I were to select a lineage, it would be the lineage of consciousness.
Ooh, I like it. Just going big with that one. Like so big. Um, how what do you do in those moments where, because we all go through them, it's kind of like a little roller coaster where you feel some disconnection from spirit or source? Like, how do you navigate that?
I just sit with it. I think that is the key to a lot of things. What is this here to teach
Mm-hmm.
me? I don't necessarily ask where it's coming from, although that question does come up. But the most
Yeah.
important question that any of us can ask is, what is this here to show me? What is this
Yeah.
reflecting about my life right now? I
Mm-hmm.
recently had um, I wrote something on a post-it. I had a thought. I think I must have been in a session and I wrote it on a post-it. And when I looked
Yeah.
at it afterwards, I thought, oh, okay, let me sit with this. And I sat with it and it
Mm-hmm.
opened up to a whole new breakthrough. So it's those
Oh,
little thoughts. It's
yeah.
I wonder what that is. Let me write it down because it feels like I want to revisit this again. Those are the keys. Those are the market. Those are the codes.
I love that piece.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. A lot. So where do you sense that your spiritual path is guiding you now? I know, like, we every summer solstice we go to Joshua Tree and we have kind of like, I feel like it helps us like set the stage for what's up and coming. Even though I feel like it's backwards a little bit because it's the summer and not the like fall equinox where you and I get set, but it really is
Hmm.
the summer that one for us. I feel like kind of sets the tone for the year. And so, given we just did that in June, where do you think you're heading right now?
You know, I think for the most part, I'm just flowing. I'm just going with all of the breadcrumbs that I'm receiving.
Mhm.
Um, I get ideas. I'm a Gemini sun, so I like to know things. I like to learn things.
Uh-huh.
And so I am not currently in any deep rabbit holes, but I'm definitely
Yeah.
open to whatever the next thing is. And I also believe in something that Bashar talks about a lot.
Mhm.
Bashar is an entity that's channeled by a gentleman, Daryl Anka, and he talks about following your highest excitement. And that's exactly what I do. I follow my highest excitement until I can know until it doesn't excite me anymore, and then I pick up the next thing that's exciting for me. And I try to
Yeah.
follow it with no expectation and just see where it leads me. And it has
Mhm.
not steered me wrong. It takes me to really amazing, far flung places. You and I will be set on doing a certain thing, and then one of us will go, "Well, what about this?" And then we'll completely change our plans because that
Yeah.
is our souls guiding us to the exact next place that we need to be. So,
Exactly right.
yeah, that's where I'm going.
I like it. And if your journey were a transmission in one sentence, what would it be?
Gosh. Hmm. Mm. It would be "You are light."
Ooh, I like it. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I can feel it when you say
Yeah.
those words. Like I feel it like come into like my whole self.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It
love
would
that.
definitely be that.
So if I said to you, my soul feels most alive when, what would you say?
Mm. My soul feels most alive when I'm in deep connection.
Oh,
And that could
okay.
be anything, deep connection with self,
Mhm.
deep connection with community, deep connection with
Mhm.
nature. In that moment when I could feel it in my body. And so in that moment, it was deep connection with the energy in my body.
Mhm. Oh, like it. So, if your journey was a soundtrack, what song would it be?
Mm, 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 mm. Two things immediately came to mind,
Uh
and
huh.
one was Jill Scott's "Living My Life Like I'm Golden."
Oh yes. Uh huh.
And then the other was a song from this group called New Eurekan Cafe, and it's
Uh huh.
"Black Gold of the Sun."
Ooh, I haven't heard that. I'm gonna have to listen to that.
It's a good one. I'll send it to you.
Okay, so we're gonna bring it home with this, and I like this kind of closer because I think it kind of will completely like encapsulate kind of our introduction of you today. But
Mhm.
is there a symbol or an image that carries like your story, your journey right now for you?
Well, it goes back to the sun theme. It's interesting how the last three questions that you had were about the sun. And so I
Mhm.
had this class that I took at the beginning of my journey. It was a 12-week class, and we did meditations 2 to 3 times a week. So every meditation that I had kept pointing to me being the sun on my body, the sun on my skin, the sun
Yeah.
shining on a hill. So it would be the sun. My symbol
Aw.
is the sun and the light because
Mhm.
we're all coming back to our light. We feel like we are, again, full circle. We feel that we're human beings on a spiritual journey, but we're actually light. And our
Yeah.
bodies are 99.99999% empty space. And that empty space is where the light comes through. So
Yeah.
the more empty we can be of the worldly wounds and traumas and beliefs that don't really have any basis,
Yeah.
and the false narratives and the conditioning and the imprints, the more we
Yeah.
can move those things out of our physical closet, the more light can enter.
Yeah. I love that you're. Oh, it lagged for a second. Sorry.
That's okay. Oh no.
Yeah, because if anybody wants to help me out, I need like a few more viewers to be able to access the live stream from my laptop. So I am
Gotcha.
shamelessly plugging myself right now. So please like and subscribe so
Yeah.
I can actually go live from my laptop and not my cell phone. So
1,000%.
the phone calls don't interrupt our lives.
Yeah.
So that, this is my human having a human experience right
Yeah.
now, and this
Yeah.
is my full glory of acceptance of it, and
Yeah.
shamelessly plugging like and subscribe so I can go live from my laptop. Everybody please help a girl out.
Yeah. And the same for me. Like and subscribe to me as well so that I can actually go live, because I can't
Even
even
on your
go.
phone, right?
Yeah, even on my phone. So there you
Yes.
go. And I
All
mean,
right,
talk
two
about
girls.
the wounds and the conditioning trying to hold us down, but no, no,
A
no.
1,000%. No, we're about to plug ourselves so we can get some more viewers so we can go live. Help us out, everybody. We'd love
Yeah,
to go live more often.
for sure.
I guess what I wanted to close it with, do you want to share anything about kind of your current workshops or anything that you have for people to find you and to connect with you, to work with you?
Yeah.
And then we're out of here, y'all.
Yeah, I have got a lot of offers that are right at the level that they're about to come out. So, not quite done. My main offer is Trinity Holistic Hypnosis, which is I do hypnosis. I
Yes.
have a container called Trinity Transformation Activation, and I help empathic, sensitive, intuitively wired people live from their essence. I do shadow work, I do hypnosis, and a little preview, I'm going to be doing grief work as well.
Ooh, fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to this grief work because I got a little insider peek and I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for the collective to be a part of that journey with you and just kind of be able to move through some of these really deep-seated collective epigenetic wounding that we carry that we don't always recognize as grief. So I think you've hit it pretty hard with this one, and I'm excited to see it roll out real soon. So you all can find Yolanda at Trinity Holistic Hypnosis. That's the Instagram handle, right? As
Yep.
well.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
And Fatima asked if there would be any light language today, and I definitely feel
Oh,
some kind of nervous system calming coming through,
yeah.
because I know that we're also receiving some M-class solar flares that are going on right
Mhm.
now. So
Yeah.
um, I'll give you what's coming through for me, Fatima.
Yep.
Uh, Enderece Shekiara Kantarasaya Sanasara Erere Inkiri Isishanara Katarasaya Eresene Ishisi Kanko Oshonoroso Santara Sarayara Arana Dantara Ushusuro Oto Notoroko Toro Antara Saya Sarakarar Arararararararara Yeresere Enderere Kere Shisera Arara Ondoro soyo kotoro osonoro yosa ara ere kendere seshe iya.
Sutitana ko shatatina ko yes kutatiana to you so when Maria to shokoto yes kutatiana nea ko yane yes kutatia tatia so nea to Yamaya dea ko yes sekitana to ichu kutatino uku meki atadia uku Sekiti ay tutusi no taya sekio to no seke eneke ay chukuno to kia taya kusuete ya tiki te kuto so kia na te o ko inya na meke o shi kusto de ne iki tu su te te tiki to kuna kia so wish sikia na ke su ku wene kia su ki to wish kia ta atu wish ki te ya to te na te ki to chi ke ta atu ku te uso ki te atu ku te and then just a couple little numbers for you, all 63, 52, 92, 653, 905, 682. There you go. Just take those numbers in. They do magic, and we will see you on the next live.
Bye, everybody.
Love you all. Like and subscribe so we can go live.
Yes, yes, yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.